Hi, I'm glad you're here. I have some new fountain pens and some new accessories that are now for sale here at the Goulet Pen Company, and I'd really like to talk to somebody about them. So if you wouldn't mind, just kind of stick around while I do that. Thank you. My name is Drew, you're you, and that's exactly who I want you to be. So let's just jump in here and get started. I wrote down a list of my things here, and it's not there. Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. I wanted to start on something that's not in front of me, so I needed this, because I wanted to tell you about Wearingeul inks. That's not in front of me because it's a whole ink line. We're starting with 15 colors, but there are a lot out there. It's a new ink brand for us, and it is currently available. The most important thing, though, is that these inks come with, now amidst the inks, there are glitter potions, which you can add to these inks or others and create shimmer versions of non-shimmery ink. So there are 4 glitter potions, and those are $16.50 a piece, slightly smaller than the 30 ml bottles of the regular Wearingeul ink, some of which are already shimmering. So you can add like a blue shimmer, a silver shimmer, a rose gold shimmer, or there's a 4th one there. But anyway, check them out. They're really exciting and a lot of fun to use. I would start with ink samples, or at least put some into an empty ink sample vial. And they recommend a 1:10 ratio if you wanted to use the glitter potion. So let's see, about 3 drops to 1 3 ml ink sample should do you just fine. So anyway, play around with those if you're curious. It's a lot of fun. We've been having a lot of fun with them here, and maybe you will too if that is your jam. We're gonna start low price, work our way up, and it doesn't get much lower than the Jinhao Shark Pen. Now, we have had multiple colors of these in the past. However, they are slightly, significantly pared down these days. Now, the only ones we will have available are these new colors: matte blue, matte green, and transparent. So these are the new sharks. And I hadn't actually put my hands on the matte green before now, and it didn't look very green. Now that I have it in person, you know what? Let's get some better viewing possibilities for you. All right, now that we're here, get out of here. This is the matte green. It's still not green, but it's got some olive happening for sure. So as it is called matte, you'll see that it does have a pretty soft finish, as does the blue here. So matte blue, matte green, and transparent. And you'll see a tiny little Jinhao logo right there. It's pretty subtle, not very pronounced. And then the little tiny hooded nib there, semi-hooded. And it is a cartridge converter pen that is included with a cartridge. Converter. That's a converter. That's not a cartridge. So pretty good deal for $3.95 to get anything with an included converter. So still a fun little pen, even in its fewer color offerings. So there's the Shark Pen. They are available now, $3.95. Next up, we're going to move into an ink. And this ink is in a kind of unique package, right? It's like a little tiny poster tube. That is the Rohrer and Klingner 2023 Special Edition ink, Ebony. And it is an Wearingeul ink, which is pretty different. There aren't too many Wearingeul inks out there. If you've ever heard of it, you might be thinking, oh no, that's scary. It eats paper. I'm not going to use that. Trust me when I say we would not be selling you a ink that's going to eat your paper. So it's okay. In fact, Rohrer and Klingner is one of the few brands that actually does already sell Wearingeul inks. They have 2 inks that are made from Wearingeul, Scabiosa and Salix, both are which they're best-selling inks. Wearingeul is just a different type of ink. Usually we sell water-based inks, but there are pigment inks, the dye-based, water-based inks that we sell. And then you could also start with Wearingeul, which is a nut. So yeah, It's just ink, but it's a permanent ink. Wearingeul ink is permanent, so that is what is the main draw here. But this is just a standard black, nothing too crazy, but it's in a nice bottle, nice robust plastic cap, glass, and it is just for 2023. So Rohrer and Klingner don't come out with new inks all the time, so it's kind of a big deal. It's a black ink, maybe it's not something to get excited about, but if you're a fan of permanent inks, a new permanent ink is always something to get excited about. So that might float your boat or take your taco. Either way, it's there for you if you need it. Moving on to a very exciting pen. Oh, Rohrer and Klingner Ebony is $12.95 for a 50 ml bottle. Okay, exciting pen. It's a TWSBI. It is indigo blue with bronze twim. Bronze twim? Drew. Indigo blue with bronze trim. And it is new, it is hot. This pen has been highly anticipated since TWSBI first teased out an image of it. And it's lovely. It is the first of the TWSBI pens to have bronze trim. I brought out a TWSBI Eco in rose gold trim to do a side-by-side comparison, and I haven't yet seen these side by side, so you are experiencing this with me. And while very similar, it looks to me that the rose gold here on the right in white is just a lighter version than the bronze on the left. Rose gold's kind of a hard thing to catch, so it looks just kind of gold on the phone here, but you get the idea. It definitely is different. If you're wondering, if you already have a white rose gold TWSBI Eco or 580, it is not the same trim. It is definitely different. Definitely different, definitely darker there. Has a little bit more of a, brown, coppery look to it. So the blue and bronze is a really, really nice combination. And there you go. Eco bronze. Look at that. Eco Brz. Eco Brz. Taiwan. What does this one say? Eco Erg. I don't know if I ever knew that. Anyway, cool pen. It is an Eco. You are probably familiar with that. I've shown them several times here. The nib also is bronze. We can take another look at the rose gold nib there. This might actually be the most obvious difference, viewing them like this. But you've got a high ink capacity. You've got a little bit of a more reflective finial here. And then you'll get to see the entirety of your feed. The Eco does not have a removable grip section. This is attached. But you get to see all the action happening. And you've got an ultra smooth piston that is going to provide you with a really big ink capacity for not a lot of money. This pen is going to be $49.99, so a little bit more than the standard edition Ecos, but this color combination and the trim, obviously you're paying for the trim. And Traveler's Notebook, it's in here. You've got an olive colored piece of elastic here, which is a hint that we are going to be looking at, yes, an olive book. You've got a little bonus piece of elastic here that falls out, and then some literature that we're just going to place in there and get out of our way. And then in this bag, you will see the Traveler's regular sized notebook in olive. Now you might be wondering, is that olive or is that brown, Drew? And I'm here to tell you, yes. So while not like a green, in contrast with this coppery brown matte I have here, you can definitely see that it is definitely leaning more green. So the Olive Traveler's Notebook is going to contain a book, but that's not really what you're buying. You're buying the system. So the Traveler's system has an elastic band, or two elastic bands running the length of the inner spine here. And it is those that you use, just like you'll see the elastic band is holding in this piece of this notebook here. You fold your notebook in through the plastic band, and then you can put multiple notebooks into this leather flap. So what you're really buying is the leather flappy bit with the elastic in it. So you can put any size notebook that fits in here, any size notebook that fits in here. That doesn't make any sense. You can fit a notebook in here that happens to be the correct size. Travelers makes them, but other companies also make them that would be compatible. And this is going to be $55. And it comes with everything you see here and all the packaging, including some bonus parts, another bonus little piece of elastic there. But yeah, they're fun. It's a fun little system. And not only are there notebooks available, but a ton of accessories, calendar inserts, pockets, zipper pouches, you name it. Travelers is a very, very modular system that gives you a ton of possibilities depending on how you want to use it for. So definitely check it out. If you don't already have one, definitely consider one. There's a purpose for, I think everybody could find a use for these. They're a lot of fun. But not as fun as the thing I'm about to talk to you about. Now, yes, I'm biased, but it's just a fact. This pen from Retro 51 is the best thing ever. So, Retro 51 Tornado Rollerball. Yeah, rollerball. Chill out. In Pirate Party. This is an exclusive to the Goulet Pen Company that I might have had a little hand in designing. It looks so good. We're going to take a look at it now. It is $58. It is a limited edition, but man, oh man, look at this. The detail in this pen is absolutely incredible. So I want to point out first that the use of perspective was what really knocks it out of the park here. You start with a cobblestone street with pirates here in the foreground. It goes all the way back down a city sidewalk, thoroughfare, to a beach, to the sea, to a ship, to the moon, to the starry night. Just amazing, all in a two-dimensional plane. Just the use of perspective is just stunning. So you'll immediately see a ton of details here in the cobblestones, details and shading in the boot. He's holding an axe. There's a ring on his finger, which, yes, it glows in the dark, as does all of the yellow parts of this design. You've got another pirate here, leg up on a keg, some grog in his hand, perched on his knee. The detail in the main pirate's belt and strapping here is just so impressive. Glow-in-the-dark parrot. You've got light source hitting him from the sides. All of that glows. You've got the light source coming from behind because this chick is lighting it up with her torch, and he's got a nice little bottle of rum there too. And she also holding her sword and scabbard there with some light up windows behind her. And there's the wrap. You've got the lit up windows here, a smoking chimney, and then the city street continues. You get a pirate there holding up a bottle. If you look really closely, you can see some other details. I'll mention one to you. That right there is a pirate that is just passed out. I don't know if you can see it super clearly, but right at her torch, that is a pirate that just had too much grog, too much party, and he's done. He's down and out. And then, of course, you've got a pirate behind him, maybe partying with him, that he could hold his grog just a little bit better. But in the distance, past the tower there at the end, you'll see a pair of palm trees that signal the beginning of the beach portion of this. At the beach, you'll see a tiny, tiny little rowboat there that starts the beginning of the sea, the beautiful sea, and then finally the grand finale, if you ask me, the triple-masted ship here with the beautiful glow-in-the-dark moon behind it, and the clouds and the stars. I cannot get enough of this pen. Of course, it's a retro, and they write fantastically well. It's just a little bit of twist there, and you effortlessly eject the rollerball tip. And speaking of that, you got a nice skull and crossbones here at the top. I don't care who sold this. I would be buying this in an instant. I love this so much. And Richard, the designer at Retro 51, just nailed it. Like, the talent here on display is just immense. This pen is a stunner. And I am happy to help bring it to you. I'm happy to own one myself. and hopefully you or someone you know will enjoy it as well. The end. Moving on, Drew. Cool your jets. Let's talk about a Delta now. At $292, this Delta DV Original is coming to us now. There is the box and the literature. There is the pen. And we're gonna move on over here so you can get a better look at it. Beyond the crinkly plastic, you will find this pretty robust pen made in Italy with a lovely roller clip, some nice sterling center band work here, and a translucent main chamber. So you might recognize this material here and the blue acrylic that is on the knob here down at the bottom. We have had a DV Original that had these in it all the way. However, this one is exclusive to the Goulet Pen Company, and it has the transparent barrel. So you can see exactly what's going on. And what exactly is going on is an internal piston unit. So removing the blind cap there, I called it a knob earlier. Not a knob, blind cap. This is the knob. You can operate said piston. Let me get you a good view here so you can see some movement happening. Well, you can kind of see it. It's not like, move out of the way, stop focusing on that. That's not the show. This is the show. Oh, it's got that cool part where it stops. So it doesn't just stop when it reaches the end, it does this. Do you like that or do you hate it? If you like it, you're welcome. If you hate it, I'm sorry. I like it. So that is the end. So let's zoom in again if we can. And there it is. That's that black piece right there. So there you see the piston working its way down, and then if you're filling it, you work your way up until it's time to stop, and it will let you know. So fairly large pen. Let's put the blind cap back on, but very comfortable. Overall, it's not super heavy. It might look heavy, but it's not. Once it gets filled with ink, it'll be more heavy, but it's not bad. So you've got a steel nib on here, made by Jowo in Germany, with the Delta logo right there, front and center. It's a very simple nib with one little bit of engraving up toward the tip, and then Delta Italy and their inverted fountain pen design there. So pretty standard feed, pretty standard nib, but reliable and consistent as most Jowo nibs happen to be. So we're happy about that. There you've got their logo once again here on the cabochon up at the tip of the cap. Posting wise, it can happen. I'm not going to call it obnoxious, but that's a lot of pen there. I'm not sure if you need that in your life, but you can do it if you want to. If you're just feeling like you're feeling posty, you go right ahead. So again, $292 there. You've got an internal piston. It is all made in Italy. And Delta, it's back. It's doing its thing. And you might be here for it. So there you go. Finally, we have come to the point where we're going to be talking about a sailor pen. And this one's a bit different. Not a standard sailor pen here. Sometimes you feel like you've seen one sailor, you've seen them all. You haven't seen this one. The Luminous Shadow Sailor series is a series of 4 pens: Fog Gray, Dusk Red, Grove Green, and Storm Blue. This one we're looking at, Storm Blue. The packaging's pretty interesting. Very neat there. Even the inner box here has a nice little design to it. It's pretty sharp. So, right from the get-go, we are seeing something that doesn't look like your everyday sailor pen. This is technically a King of Pen. So it is the larger pen with the larger King of Pen nib in 21 karat gold here. So you are going to get that. Apart from that, there's not a whole lot super predictable about this pen. So it is a large pen. So pretty large pen. No tapering. It's a pretty straight profile here. You do have a familiar Sailor King of Pen clip, so that is pretty consistent. You've got a bit of engraving here in the middle with Sailor there on the cap trim ring, and then nothing here at the top and nothing here at the bottom. So pretty simple design. And the thing that really strikes me is that it is a swirly acrylic pen. Now, these are not uncommon at all throughout the rest of the pen industry, but there are companies like, I would say the Japanese companies, Pilot, Sailor, Platinum. This is not a material that you see often used. Pilot's done it before, but it's not common. Certainly not common, and certainly not common for Sailor either. So, removing the barrel, you see standard, very, very large shroud here that is, trademark to the King of Pen, and then a Sailor converter. So, familiarity under the hood, but up top here, you've got something pretty unique and uncommon for Sailor to be doing. So this is a pricier pen, but not pricey, well, it depends on what you're comparing it to. Sailor's got a lot of offerings in this upper tier. This one's $580. You do get the 21 karat nib, and as I mentioned before, 4 colors. This one is the Storm Blue. We've also got Grove Green, Dusk Red, and Fog Gray. All have patterns that are going to be similar, but each pen will be a little bit different, as you can imagine. Any of these swirly acrylics, and you're not going to they can't produce the same pen twice with these. So if you like this sort of style, you might also like the fact that you can order one of these and have them not be numbered, but yet still know that your pen is the only one of its kind, the only exact one of its kind. So just like us, they are unique and beautiful snowflakes, right? All right, one thing I wanted to check out before I put this one all the way is this package here. I saw this, and I haven't actually looked into it yet. I'm sure it's just the, some cartridges and stuff, but we're just gonna check it out together. Oh, okay. Because it seemed pretty packed. All right, that's all of it. We've got ink cartridges, neat. All right, so that's there, always good to have. We've got this. Oh, the ion plating, yeah. They mentioned that you should only use Sailor inks on these black nibs. So, listen or don't. It's up to you. But you should listen. And then a polishing cloth. Neato. And warranty stuff. And then there's a whole book about the Luminous shadow. Oh, okay. Let me read this real quick. Oh. Huh. Luminous shadow. How about that? All right. Well, we do have a little bit of English here, so if you're like me and you're a bit ignorant, there's some stuff for you. All right. Well, I'll leave that for you. If you want to buy this, I'll let this be a delightful and wonderful surprise for all the treasures that no doubt lie within this manual. So that, people, is the entirety of our video today. I sincerely thank you for spending some time with me. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. The products have definitely kept coming, but I just haven't had the time to sit down here with you. So thank you for being here for me to do that with. Have fun. Right on.